And we are live. Hey, this is Sean. This is Federal Prison Talk. This is Sunday, I believe July 9th or 10th. June 9th or 10th. So I got a doctor. I just called him on the phone. He's trying to log on right now. And should be coming on any minute. So I'm going to play a little intro. We're going to talk about him going to prison for a healthcare fraud. He's going to Otisville. It's probably the best prison. it's I call it the number one prison camp in America. We'll talk more. And I wrote that song in prison, and I'm kind of proud of it, in a way. I'm going to call him. I just talked to him on the phone, but I got this way I can test my call-in feature. And let's just give him a call here, because he's probably having trouble logging on. And it should be ringing. Let's see. It says calling. Dr. Mo. Hi. No, you're not. I'm on the screen. I just went live. I hit the live button. There's people in the audience. Yeah, I don't know. Let me send you another link. I don't know what. Maybe I sent you the wrong link. I shouldn't have. You might have checked. You might have. I'm gonna send you a. Let me send it again. Yep. Okay. So I copied the link and I will send it to your phone right now. I'm gonna hang up and I'll text it to your phone right now. There he is, guys. So we text it to him, which I can do on my screen right here. And boom. I just sent it to him. We'll see. Anyways, guys, what's going on? He'll be on here in a minute. He's got to do a few years prison time at a camp, Otisville. He just called me the other day. Thanked me for, we talked for a while. He had a lot of questions. He's going to have more, today. I think he's got 2 weeks, give or take, to turn himself in. And let's see. I even got some people in the room, I think. Cool. Undertaker. So, guys, I haven't been doing a lot of videos lately. And the reason is I just asked not to. Here he comes. Because of this long story. But I can. There he is. Now you're back. I don't know what I did wrong before I sent you the wrong link. Let's do a mic check. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you well.
Okay, I don't hear any echo. Because there's a little echo button on your audio. And good. That's why I wanted. Sounds good. All right. So how we doing, man?
I'm doing
2 weeks to go, man. You got to feel all kinds of emotions, right?
Yeah, I do. We all do.
And you got a wife, kids, family, and all that?
Well, I have been divorced for 12 years. So I think under scenarios, when you are going through the criminal justice system, if you are by yourself, I think you can handle it relatively better. And, every case is different. But, if the more the kids are grown, the better you can withstand, going through the criminal justice system. One thing that I have learned over the last 2 years,
Yeah. It's I don't know if it's harder by yourself or worse, because when you have a family, you're kind of you're leaving them behind, whether they look at it like you chose this over them. You don't have that going on, but I'm sure you have friends, coworkers, some kind of. I'm sure you have some people in your life. I don't know if they've turned on you yet, or they're going to be by your side through the whole thing. And this is kind of that test in life, You find out who your real friends are, through thick and thin. Have you experienced any of that yet?
I think I was lucky in the sense that to begin with, I didn't have a big social circle. And, I'm a fairly introvert person. I didn't have many friends. I didn't have much of a social ecosystem other than my own siblings. So, there is a saying, when the shooting starts, everybody runs. So from that perspective, I am lucky in the sense that you know, there was not much of an ecosystem that that I had to withstand in terms of scrutiny and so forth. I had a very small ecosystem. People who know. If they don't call me, they don't call me. It doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, when the crisis comes, one thing that I always had in my mind was, in the time of crisis, it's you and whatever resources you have to handle that crisis. And I don't believe in complaints, and I don't believe in expectations. You have to just you know take the
Yeah.
task to its horn and deal with it to the best of your ability.
Um, well said, well said. And I actually look at prison now, having been through it all. It was kind of a gift to me because I used it the right way as a reset button to work on myself, my body, my soul, my spirit, my mind. I took every program, every class. I took advantage of what the federal government has to offer in prison. It's not a lot, but if you use it in a positive way, you can find yourself up here, and all the problems of the world, they're just out there. They're gone. You get it. You get a break, and you're going to I call it the #1 federal prison camp in the country, man. Otisville, man, you are so lucky. And you know what? You're like kind of my age. I just turned 60. I don't know if you're 50, but
52.
that's like the average age where, especially where you're going. You're not going to see. I doubt you'll see anybody under 30 there. There may be one or two youngsters, but it's pretty much 40 and up in prison camps nowadays. I mean, there's some youngsters, but that's the average age is about, I'm going to say 44 years old. But I had guys 80 years old, you know, in my building that we lived in and stuff. So, you're not going to, I thought, hey, at my age, they're not going to give me much time. They don't care if you're 92, you know. But
No, it's a fairly mechanized system. I think the criminal justice system is fairly well mechanized, and you know there are guidelines, there are regulations, there are rules, there are ranges, and ballpark range. Everybody follows through those guidelines and through those algorithms and through those systems. There's a little bit room for maneuverability, but by and large, once you are within the criminal justice system, you can fairly well predict where it will end up in an average case, just like my case or your case. We are not talking about a high profile case for a very high end politician
no,
or a high
no, no. We're talking about the regular guy who goes to prison. They
regular
look like
Joe,
me. They look like you.
yeah, like you and me, who will plead guilty to some charges. So I think it's a fairly predictable case. And one thing that I've learned is, in such a case like your case or my case, you don't have to even spend so much resources on hiring a very top notch former USA criminal trial attorney. You don't have to do that because it's not going to make any meaningful impact. And I think I made the right decision in doing that.
I absolutely agree. Now, in a state court, that's a whole other story. I mean, look what OJ did with all his money, and he got, whether he's guilty or not. But money can buy you lawyers in a state court. In a federal court, uh, the ones that the government appoints you, they give you real lawyers, anyways. Usually, the
Hmm.
public defender's office only has one or two public defenders in each district. The rest
Hmm.
are hired on lawyers. So those public defenders, I would rather have one of those guys than a lawyer in the federal system. But they only take on so many cases. And you're breaking up here. It must be you because I'm looking at myself, and well, I'm sure he'll be back, guys. Let's see what.
I just had to answer one text, but I'll be back. But let's keep chatting over. Let's keep
Yeah,
talking.
yeah. People want to probably. There's people starting to come in the room here and stuff. I got a friend from Africa, Liberia. His name's Raymond. He kind of works for our company and stuff, but he's been to prison in Africa, and he said he wanted to pop on it a little later today if he comes in. He could tell you what you think our prisons are bad. Oh, anyways, he may pop in. But maybe you could start with where did it all start? How did you, get indicted? You're living your life, or you're a doctor. I don't know what type of medicine you practice, but maybe you could give a little background about yourself, and then
Well,
how this all.
I'm a physician, and I was not indicted. I was charged with a complaint
Okay,
with one count of conspiracy to commit healthcare fraud.
no indictment. You got a target letter or something, or they
I
just showed up?
later they just showed up and they arrested me. Before they showed up, I had heard some rumors that people, the feds are looking into the practice, and I had heard it about a year ago, and boom, they showed up.
Can I ask who told you these rumors? Fellow physicians or
Not fellow co-workers. Fellow
coworkers? Okay. And so you're doing unnecessary surgeries. You were Medicare fraud or Medicaid. Was it having to do with the billing part of it, or?
it was related to the billing part of it, whereby some of the services were rendered were not actually rendered, and some of them were not necessary, and some of the clients that came to the office, they were paid some kickback to come to the office.
Oh, incentive. Yeah, you can't. So at my office, Wings for Life, I became I'm a certified now peer support worker. What it is I'm a by the state of New Mexico Behavior and Health Department professional. What I am, I'm a clinician now, and we are going to start billing Medicaid. But I have four friends from that same prison. One is the director now, and we have to be so careful because any little billing error, and we had to hire a social worker with a master's degree. We gotta be very careful because they're gonna double watch us. So any type of billing we do, we don't want to go back to prison. We're dotting our T's.
So, what are your credentials now?
Well, I'm a clinician now. I'm a behavior and health professional. It was a course I took at the university. It's just a certificate, but it's not a degree or anything. But it allows me to be like a case manager and work with people. It has to do with being so. Since I went to prison, and I've been homeless before, I have this lived experience, and now they found out that we're valuable. We can help others recover and move on with their life, and Medicaid pays the bill. I believe it's $40 for every 15-minute interval that we can bill Medicaid for. So I'm wanted. I get a lot of job offers, but now anyways, I'm going full time back with Wings for Life. I tried another job with the city, it didn't work out, so here I am. But we have to be very careful about billing Medicaid. We're going to get into Medicare and all that later, and the other. I'm sure you know some of this, right? When it's everything's got to be obviously, they found out. Sometimes it's not your fault, or maybe I don't know who was if you had an accountant. I don't know if you had who was doing the actual billing, because it probably wasn't you, right?
No, I think in my case, and I take full responsibility for it, in the sense that I knew that some of the services that were rendered were perhaps not needed, and
Yeah, no, I know. I bet you knew. I'm sure that you knew, but I don't know if you did the actual billing yourself, or are you the only one that's going to that
but
got
at
out of
the end
trouble?
of the day, the buck stops at me. I am
Yeah,
the.
sure.
I think taking responsibility is of paramount importance, whereby you acknowledge your mistake, and you should be ready to face the criminal consequences for your misconduct.
Like I told you the other day on the phone, you are one step ahead of everybody else. When you get there to this prison camp, you're going to see how many people are so innocent until the last day. They're not just, they don't want to take accountability. And maybe you are innocent on that crime, but your lifestyle got you there. Once you look at all the other things you got away with, and they don't want to do that. What do we got a
Right.
comment here? Daryl says, I have
Wait,
lymphoma. Can you read that? I have lymphoma and would not want to go to Butner camp. Yeah, Butner's in Texas, I think. Am I right?
I think any kind of medical condition that should be there in your pre-sentencing report, and the BOP will make the determination based on your health conditions.
Yeah, they do want to save themselves money, but at the same time, they have these medical facilities, MMCs. It's like a hospital prison. And I haven't heard any really good things out of there. There's a couple. There's one in Brooklyn. I don't know how many people. I know a lot of people go in, but the only way out is in a pine box, if you know what I mean.
No, I think unfortunately, within the correctional system, both at the state and the federal level, obviously I'm a medical doctor myself. The way I look at it is, unfortunately, the quality of the care, if you have any medical conditions, most likely expected to get compromised. But again, the way I have done it for myself is, taking care of my health. Like I'm 5'11", I was 175 pounds,
You're
which is
5'11". Wow, you're a tall man.
yeah. So I have lost about 17 pounds now. And the
Okay.
reason I lost this weight is I'm preparing myself, you know, for this
Yeah.
correction, for this correctional journey. And, by reducing weight loss, I am potentially reducing, my chances of getting any kind of chronic diseases, like diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity related diseases. So I think what we can do as an individual, as a just as impacted person, we can do, but anything beyond that is not in our control. But one correlation or parallel that I see, that I take inspiration from, is at the end of the day, we are going to a camp within the territorial USA. Now, if you look at the history, people have gone through gulags, Russian gulags, people have gone through concentration camps, and there were people who survived that and came out
Yeah.
of it. So
They
when
sure did. They sure did survive that.
yeah, we as human beings, if if our fellow human beings in the past, if they have withstood the gulags, the Russian gulags and the concentration camps, then surely we can withstand a low security camp fairly easily.
I mean, you could throw us in Antarctica, sub degrees temperature. We will find a way to survive. You throw us in the middle of the desert, we adapt. I mean, we
Yeah,
have so far, thousands of years. I mean, we're getting tested all the time, but we do know how to adapt. And I see it out there with the homeless people. The longer they're out there, I call it de-evolving, like going back to pro magnum kind of. It's the longer they're out there, the harder it is to bring them back, or they want to come back, and so humans, we just our environment, and we adapt. Kind of
adaptability
amazing.
is the name of the game. And one thing I've learned in life is, complaining about the situation will not take you anywhere. The current set of circumstances are never perfect, but you whatever circumstances are there, you have to start from there and make the best out of it.
And where you're going, I mean, you're going to see the medical care in prison. Everybody complains about it. I mean, it is what it is. You being a doctor, you're going to kind of maybe know how to treat your. You may know more than the doctor that works there, but I mean, I let's just love to get your take on it once you're there on the medical system, because everybody complains it's the worst medical in the world. You have to wait for surgeries months and months. I had a hernia operation, and it took 9 months wait, and I heard that's I got lucky, but
Lucky, yeah.
they did a decent job. I mean, I didn't have too many complaints with the medical staff. They do the best they can, but they can only do what they're allowed to do. They
Because the
love
system,
to what's
correctional
that?
system is the basically the
What's that?
staffing, the staffing at the correctional facilities. They are overworked, they are underpaid, they are overstressed, and they are undereducated. So I think the workforce over there, although I haven't gone there, but the workforce over there is fairly demotivated. So I think more resources needs to be allocated towards staffing the correctional facilities. And then only things can turn around.
It may. The sentences are getting lighter now. I talk to hundreds of guys all the time. I mean, every year I've had over 500 phone calls from people on this channel. I've had it for 3 years, and then I'm dealing with the federal halfway house here in Albuquerque, and we have those people get out. They come to me. They come to my coworkers. We help them find jobs. We help them, get an apartment. All these things that they thought they had these roadblocks. Now I'm a felon. I can't do anything. Wrong attitude, and that's just so wrong. I've gotten companies to change their policies about hiring people with felonies, but and it's a slow change. But and I had a point, and I lost my point. Anyway, I lost my point. Do you have questions about getting ready to go in? Because I have a checklist I usually go over with people about things to prepare. Like you're going to prison. Looks like you're going on vacation for a long time. What are you going to pack in your suitcase, kind of thing? Do you have any questions like that?
Well, I think, what my 2 cent understanding of surrender is, I will go by myself. Somebody will drop me. I will be wearing, one shirt, one sweatpant, one slippers. I will have my prescription eyeglasses, which I am wearing.
Okay, and they're valued under $100. And who determines that value is actually the correctional officer that's going to check you in. It's up to him.
Yeah.
If he thinks
Yeah.
it's worth $500, that's the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, this is like a 20-year-old prescription eyeglasses. So, I mean, 10 years old. So,
You should be fine. Yeah, you should be fine. Now,
that,
religion, I don't know about. I don't know if you're Muslim or Hindu, but like I said, are you Muslim?
yeah. Mhm.
Okay, because I actually read the Quran while I was in there a couple times. I went to services, have nothing but respect. If I was going to choose a religion, it would be Muslim today, because of all the people I've met that are more American than my family. Yeah, if I was going to choose a religion, it would be Muslim. Right now, I'm just not doing any religion, but I have highly respect. But they also, all the holidays, they'll give you time to 5 times a day you pray, I believe. You can have your prayer rug. I think you have to have the prayer rug sent in, though. I don't think you can bring it with you. Do you have somebody that would send it into you?
No, I think what I'm going to bring is I'm going to just bring my prescription eyeglasses, which I'm wearing.
Okay.
And I'll bring my eye drops because I do have a medical condition, glaucoma. So I put eye drops and, I'll just bring my contact list and that's all.
Okay. So in Otisville, there's a lot of Jewish people. So you're going to have that. But I know there's a lot of Muslims too. I don't know the ratio, but you'll be fine. It's not going to have religious wars going on in there. They do cover all the religious services. Everything from Wiccan to Satanism to you name it. They got the Thor, the Thunder God. They got everyone covered, and they have a service for every single one. They're usually a chapel, and it's all divided up. Each religion gets 3 slots a week. So,
Okay.
and they have halal meals, and they also have kosher, and they have special diabetic meals, things like that, low sodium meals. So when you get there, the first day you need to let them know what your preference is for your meals, because it'll take 6 months if you want to change your mind later on. So let them know from the start so they can have that ready for you. Halal meals were pretty good. The kosher, it's kind of getting commercialized, so it's not. A lot of the Jewish people told me it really wasn't kosher, but But the food, it depends where you go for the food. Otisville, I would imagine it's not bad over there. It depends on the cook, and the cook's going to be an inmate, and how well he gets along with the correctional staff and what they want to order. But it's the same menu across the country. Depending on who cooks it, it could be really nasty, or it could be not too bad.
The menu is same across the country?
Yeah, it's the same, but they order the food regionally. So in New York, they may get their beef from upstate New York, and if you got a prison in Arizona, who knows where they get their beef? It could be coming from Mexico, and I'm just saying it's regional where they order it, but the menu is the same. But it all comes down to the cook and the correctional officers that order everything from the spices and the herbs and oils and things like that. And some prisons are on a budget and they're not going to order spices here. We don't do herbs, and it just kind of depends, but it's the same menu. Otisville, I imagine they got it pretty good out there. You know about the phone calls over
Yeah, I
there?
think 520 minutes.
15 minutes, and then you got to hang up. It'll hang up on you, and you got to wait an hour to call again. But you get 500 free minutes, and
500.
that's all you get. Like I think I warned you before. Stay away from those cell phones. If you're comfortable in that camp, you're going to see all these people with cell phones, and they're going to tell you, "Oh, we got lookouts, we got it covered, we know." Uh, I'm just saying, you're a
Not for,
short timer.
not,
Anybody with less than 5 years, you're a short timer, and you don't want to ruin that, man.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Because
going to cost. It'll cost you three or $400 for a cell phone because you're not going to have a fence there. So anything you want to order, it's brought in. Trust me. But cell phones, they do not like them, and they are cracking down.
no, I think the way I look at it is when I go there, in terms of my sentencing, which is 26 months, and my restitution, which is 1.3, I will be one of the few lucky ones there, which who has a very short sentence, and my restitution amount 1.3 is fairly low compared to other cohorts that will be there.
It's very low for Otisville, very high for something for like New York or something. But yeah.
So from that perspective, and then 26 months, I mean, there will be guys there who will trade off my sentence with their sentence in a heartbeat.
Oh, sure. I thought you had said 30 months. I got to change that, but 26. Um,
26.
Yeah, and so my guess is you'll be out of there in a year. Remember, I told you if all the stars were in alignment, you could do 6 months and they give you a year, halfway house, home confinement, and program credits for the first step back. I mean, that's best case scenario, but I think you're looking at around a year for a 26-month sentence. It's less than half time. It's not bad.
That's not bad.
Like, the year's going to go by so fast,
Yeah.
so fast. You know. They just had Ramallah, right? They just had that, right?
Yeah. So I
So,
expect them to be there by March 1st.
okay, you may even miss that one in prison. But I tell you, they respect it. Every you, they, I should say, they have special meal times. They respect that. That's a big holiday in the federal system. All of them. You would not believe the Muslim community in the federal prison system. I'm going to guess at least 20. I'm going to say 20% of all federal prisons is probably Muslim. It's my guess. That's a big number.
So then, fasting won't be a challenge here because I do fast.
Yeah, no, that's no problem. One right that you have in prison, in even a state prison, your religious rights. They have been so many court cases over religious rights that every prison kind of bows down to anyone's religious rights. They are granted those 100%. So they don't want any lawsuits. That's the one right that you can really hold on to
Excellent.
in prison. You know. They even have Native American like sweat lodges, and they smoke like a tobacco, but it's a natural. They buy that for them, and they give them their rituals. Even the Wiccan or the devil worshippers, all that, they all have everything. They abide for everybody. It's kind of a, I don't know. I mean, it's the one right I noticed that they don't mess with. They let everybody have that right to religion. How about your passwords, your usernames, all that stuff? Because, and also, you know how they have the two-step verification when you go to log on to check your email. So if you don't have that same phone number, it's kind of hard nowadays to access things. So I don't know if you can afford to pay for a phone number for that year that you're going to be in there, but it's so much easier when you get out if you use the internet a lot. But I suggest write down your passwords, your usernames, and mail yourself the day
Yeah.
before you go in. Mail yourself a copy of all the everybody's
Yeah.
name, email, phone number that you want. Mail yourself a copy
Yes.
and take one with you. But you never know, they may not let you bring that in there. They usually will, but mail yourself a copy the
Yes.
day before you go in.
The list is ready. I'm just
Right?
waiting for the last week, and I'm going to mail it.
Okay. And any money you can bring, I wouldn't bring more than 500 in cash. And the rest, any money that it's going to be put on your books. They used to be able to do it earlier. Now you can't do it until they've actually booked you into their system. So if
Oh,
anybody's going to wire you money, they have to wait till you've checked into the hotel, so to
but
speak. You know.
300 cash, they can deposit it.
Yeah, they'll put it right into your account that day. Yeah, I wouldn't bring more than $500 because you can't spend more than like $350 a month, anyways. So
Okay, yeah, I'll bring 300. That's my plan.
okay, so the commissary, it's different at every camp, but it's about they go by 2 weeks. They'll give you about $150 every 2 weeks you could spend if you use it up. So you go to the store once a week. They'll assign you a day. It might be Tuesday mornings, and that's the only time you can go to the store. And if you use up your 150 that first week on the Tuesday, you got to wait till the next 2 week session to spend it again. And when you first get there, a lot of people are going to want a radio. That's an expensive item. You know, they're going to or an MP3
No,
player. Now they have tablets.
they will give me clothes, right? They will give me like how many pairs of clothes?
They're going to give you, I believe it's three sets, 3 pants, 3 shirts, a winter jacket, and summers. They might not give you that yet. I believe it's 5 pairs of boxers, 5 socks. They're going to give you boots that you wear for work. So, and there's so I'm going to say there's work hours and then there's off time hours. So during the day, everybody we had to wear greens. It was like a green shirt. You look like a forest ranger kind of. It was a green shirt with green pants and boots. And if you're going to go to eat at lunch, you have to be dressed in your greens. Now after 5 o'clock, you can wear t-shirts and sweats. Those you have to buy on commissary. They do give you t-shirts too. They give you 5 white t-shirts. And in our camp, anything you bought from commissary was the color gray, and you can only wear the grays after 5 o'clock. That's your
But
kind
how
of.
about the pants and the slippers? Like other
You
than the
have to
boots?
buy that on commissary, or other inmates will sell it to you. Some people will give you when you first get there. People are going to walk up to you and they're going to offer you like a welcome package. And don't take it the wrong way. If you were in a penitentiary, I would say do not take anything from anybody. In the camp, it's different. We all did that. Guys get in there, we're going to give you, shampoo, toothpaste, toothbrush. We have these little kits, that we keep for the new guys, and then we pass it on. So when you get ready to leave, when new guys come in, you have a little welcome kit for them. Now it's
And then
just a
how about
sign of welcome.
haircut, beard cut, and nail cut? How do you do that?
So nail clippers you can order on commissary. They do have a barber shop. They may be 2 or 3 or 4 different barbers in there. I got a problem people touching me because I was molested when I was a little kid, so I don't like men to touch me. But so they would let me, I'd give them $5 worth of commissary and they would let me use their clippers so I could cut myself. So you may do that too. But some camps allow little trimmers with electric trimmers. Some camps do, some don't. So those you could order on commissary. Or you can go to the barber shop and they have all that stuff there. If you do get your hair cut or your beard trimmed, it's customary to tip the barber. We tip, and that's with commissary items.
Okay.
Yeah, we take tips. They take tips. There's going to be guys in Otisville's probably pretty bad. We call it the rich inmates. They will have somebody come and clean their little cubicle, their cell. They will sweep it. They will mop it. They will buff it with a buffer. They will dust it. They will sanitize everything. There's other guys who will come take your laundry. They will wash it, fold it, stack it, put it back neat for you, pick it up, deliver everything. They might charge you $5 a week. There's people that offer services. So the guys with less money, and that's their hustle.
Here, I will get 3 pants and 3 shirts to begin
Yeah.
with.
3?
And
Yeah, it's not 5, it's 3. You're right, it's 3. So
and
they
then
have
about
laundry machines.
like a
What's that?
night or a sweatpant or a sweatshirt or a
What did you say
t-shirt.
about that? Say that one
Like,
more time.
like how about like a night cloth? Like for sweatpant, do you get like sweatpant? Or?
Yeah, they sell those on commissary. They're about, last time I looked, they were about $30 maybe. They were kind of expensive. These are Walmart might sell it for $3, but the commissary is going to sell it for $24.
So I won't get anything other than those 3 pieces of clothes. Those I have to buy.
Yeah, you have to buy that. They don't give you any. Yeah, you have casual stuff. So if sweats and stuff like that, yeah, until you get it off commissary, somebody may give you some, or they may sell you some. The other inmates, but yeah, you got to wait till commissary to get sweats and stuff like that. Trying to think. No, because I had to wear the green pants that they gave me for a couple days till I got. But oh, you do get to go to the commissary store the next day. You won't go the day you check in, but as long as it's not a Saturday or Sunday. What day of the week are you checking in?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. So Wednesday they will let you go to the front of the line, and you'll get a list of things to check on for commissary that you want to buy. They'll let you go to the front of the line and give it to the one of the commissary people, and he'll tell you, "We'll fill your oil, or we will fill your order," and then you have to wait till everybody's served, and then they will have your order filled for you. When you go to commissary, it's run by inmates. There's a correctional officer overlooking everything, but you have to check everything because it's already been taken off your bill. So if you order, 5 toothpaste and there's only 4, and you don't catch it, you don't get your money back. So you'll see what I mean when you get there. It all comes through a little chute or a window. So it's not like a shopping cart. They're going to give you like a mesh bag. It's like a duffel bag made of mesh that you can see through, and that's usually what people use to carry their commissary. That's a big day for commissary. Is a big day. Everybody gets their one. You get once a week to go, and it's going to the store. Have you looked at a commissary list yet online?
I have looked at it. I mean, I don't need much. One thing I've learned is, cut down your material needs.
Yeah,
we as
true.
beings can live very simple. So,
Yeah.
other than, piece of cloth, I think it should be okay.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're mentally prepared already. It seems like you've been working on this. You've been getting ready. I mean, most people are not as calm as you, and they haven't taken accountability for their crimes, and you're way ahead of everyone. How do you explain this? What have you done? What's your secret?
I think part of it has to do with, your upbringing, and part of it has to do with, being pragmatic. You know, I came here in 90s, and you come as an immigrant and you start with, you know, $3,000, and then, you rise to the occasion of having a multi-million dollar practice. You have seen a steep curve going up, and now when things are, back to the zero line, you have seen the down, you have seen the up. Can you rebuild it back up with limited resources? Sure,
Yeah.
I, by the will of God. And the other thing is, no matter what circumstances we are in, let's say if I compare myself, right, as an inmate at FCI in Otisville, you know, at my age, though, there are people sitting in Sloan Kettering in a cancer hospital who are dying of stage 4 cancer, right?
Yes.
So if I go and ask a stage 4 cancer patient at my age, would you trade off Otisville for stage 4 cancer? He'll say, okay,
Ooh.
sure, in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I would. Oh, wow. That's a great. Wow.
You know,
I like that. I
so
like that. I like that evaluation. That's a
we,
great example.
we are alive, we are healthy, we can eat, we can see, we can talk, we have clothes on our body, we have food, we have water, we have shelter, we have heating, we have air conditioning, we can walk, we are pain free. We are not physically
Yeah.
dependent on somebody to help us out. We can carry our activities of daily living, and that's a very basic human sustenance level, you know and we are
Food,
all
shelter,
blessed.
and clothing. Yeah.
you know that's how I look at it. Now, does anybody wants to go through this system with the criminal justice system? you know I sure bet no. But the way I look at it is, in any given year, within the continental USA, 2 million people get diagnosed with cancer. Now, if you ask those 2 million people who will get diagnosed with cancer this year, do they want to get diagnosed with cancer? The answer will be no. But that's their individual fate, and that's their individual destiny. So we all are going through our destinies. Some people gets diagnosed with cancer. Some of us go to correctional facility. Some of us lose a loved one. Some of us lose an arm. Some of us gets amputated with the leg with some kind of disease. So we all have our individual destinies. Hindsight is always 2020, but it is what it is. Here we are. But you just have to embrace it and ride it out. And there are countless people who have gone through this criminal justice system and have reached the other side of the ocean. And I will reach that too. It's just a matter of time.
You're a very inspiring man. Man, you are gonna take full advantage of this. I know. I already see this is going to be a good thing for you. Um, as harsh as that may sound, I would not have my life any other way but go to that federal prison camp. That's different from a penitentiary, but Allah saw fit for me to go there and
And then the other thing,
and reset my life and have
yeah,
another chance.
that I
You
look
know,
at it is, compare the correctional facility, right? I'm going to Otisville. First of all, you don't want to go to a correctional facility, but if your destiny is to go to a correctional facility, I think this is the best place in North America, to the best of my knowledge.
I know people I've met in other countries. They would trade living their life when they're fighting over little scraps of rice. People in Bombay or something, right?
Yeah.
Would rather live in Otisville for the rest of their life. That'd be fine with them. you know,
Imagine a homeless person. Imagine a homeless person. He would live in Otisville for the rest of his life. He doesn't have to work. He has a shelter. He's getting 3 square meals, right? He doesn't have to pay electric. He doesn't have to, there's no cable. He doesn't cares about that. He has no heating issue. He has a pair of clothes. He has shoes, and he has a basic medical care. What
Yeah,
else do
and
we?
when his clothes get worn and torn, they give you new ones, and
Yeah,
they're going to give you 3 meals a day. They even have a lot of them have you can go back for seconds usually, and they have sometimes they give out ice cream and watermelon and pumpkin pies, and you'd be surprised some of the stuff that comes through there. They have you don't really need any money there. It's nice to have the luxury items, but no, the only thing is they will make you work unless you have a medical excuse or if
okay.
you're over 65.
Well, yeah, you can work a little bit, few hours.
And they pay you for that. You might only get $40 a month, but they give you something for it. And it's not a bad life. I adjusted. I was in Colorado, and Otisville. I would say the top three are Otisville,
I
Morgantown. What's that?
I don't think it's a bad life. Obviously, we don't know. None of us wants to be there. But if that is our destiny, accept it, and instead of complaining, try to make the best of it, and always look for situations where it could be worse. Like my sentence is 26 months. There are people within the correctional system who are serving 260 months, right?
Yeah, three
So if I
lifetimes. Some of them.
yeah, if I go and ask that guy 260 months versus 26 months, he will take my position for his position in a heartbeat, right?
You would think that there are some people in the prison system. They see you are a grateful man. I think I'm a grateful man, and you're humble. There are people in our society that they in and out of they don't. I don't want to say they don't learn their lesson or they don't change their stripes, but there are those who don't see it the way me and you do.
I think
And
part of it has to do, with their ecosystem and how they were developmentally brought up, number one. And I think part of it has to do with the vigorousness of the criminal justice system. I think both things play into account, and there's a direct correlation between reoffense and the family ecosystem. By and large, where I grew up back in India, the family ecosystem was strong, but the government was weak. Now the difference
Are
I
you?
see here, the
Did you grow
family
up? Were you? Did you grow up in the city or the country?
in the city, but over
Okay, so that's
there,
a rough life. That's a rough life there,
yeah, at the
right?
state level and at the federal level, the enforcement was weak, but the family system was strong. Here, at a federal level and at a state level, the enforcement, the transparency is there, but the family system has collapsed. So I think a lot of
Yeah.
the challenges that we see in our society is because of lack of a coherent family system.
Yeah, you're so right. I mean, I was brought up by my one family too, I was born in 1964, so that was in the, it's been going on a long time. We're going on 100 years with the single family here, and look what's happened. Yeah, there's two people can't, a man and a woman, just it's supposed to be for better or for worse, for the rest of your life, but the marriage means nothing
Because
nowadays.
family is a unit for the society. Family comes first, then comes the state, then comes the federal.
Yeah.
Because here what I see is the state and the federal, they have a very robust transparent system with checks and balances and accountability, which is good. Like I'm getting held accountable for my actions, and I should be held accountable for my actions.
So you,
But
you respect you respect the law, yeah.
in the bigger picture, the unit of any society is the family ecosystem, so that has weakened a lot. And a lot of the challenges that we see in our society, not just from a perspective of the criminal justice system, but from a perspective of outside the criminal justice system, we see it because of a very weakened and shattered family ecosystem.
Well, even some of the American families that do stay together are teaching their children hatred and be a victim and to be entitled to this, and they're teaching them you know uh, racism, kind of ways of life, and so that
Mhm.
kids grow up not, you are a product of your environment somewhat, to some extent, and a lot of people don't want to be like their mother or their father, but yet you could resist all you want, but part of that's going to be in you, right? You agree? And so our American dream is, it's not, the ethics, the morals that parents teach their kids are not what they probably should be either. A lot of, because I don't, that's for another show. But I really like your philosophy on life, though. You're going to do well. I got somebody calling in here. Let me just answer it because it's my brother. I'll tell him he's on the show. Hey, Patrick, you are live on Federal Prison Talk. Did you know that? Oh, you're watching the show? That's my brother, guys. I have a brother.
Oh,
Yeah, and you're live. Everybody can hear you. I got a man. I got a man. He's turning himself in about 2 weeks to Otisville Federal Prison Camp. That's upstate New York, right?
upstate New York, yeah.
Yeah. It's the best you could possibly get. It's the Club Fed. Someone told me it still has a
Oh,
swimming pool,
hmm?
and then I heard it was a dried up swimming pool. I believe there's a one hole golf course and a driving range, but it's dirt and stuff. It's not all nice green grass. But and I don't know where they get the golf clubs. They probably order them on through the hobby shop. Yeah.
What else? Any questions anybody has? How many people are attending?
Yeah. Do you have any questions, Patrick, for Muhammad here going to prison? Okay. I don't know if you called because I was on the show, but let me get back to you when I off air. Okay. All right. I put you on the spot. All right. Well, now I know that works. I wanted to do, like, remember in the old days on radio shows, talk shows, you could call in. So now I have that working. So I'm gonna come up with some other topics later, do another episode. Let me see. I wanted to do the rundown on. Do you know how the email system works there?
No, you can elaborate.
So every it's you. you don't have access to the internet. You're not going to get like Mohammed at gmail.com or at fed.com. They don't give you an email address. What they allow you to do is send out through what they call true links. You'll see these terminals. Sometimes they're in the building that you live in, or in the TV room, or in the library, and they have different ones all over the camp. And there may be 5 here and 7 at the other library. And you log on to this TrueLink system. They have a fingerprint. You'll put your fingerprint down there, and you have a number you type in. And they allow you to send an email, which is going to be scanned and screened for keywords. I don't want to say any of those words because it could trigger something, but there's certain words, like if you are going to, blow up the planet, any words, something like that, they're looking for that or anything. So it takes about 2 hours when you send an email to somebody on the outside. I've heard sometimes a little less because it has to be screened first. It's I think artificial intelligence does it now. It costs you 10 cents a minute to use the email system. That's to read the emails that you receive or to send one out. So type fast and read fast. But you can print out an email. And when I was there, it was 15 cents a page to print out your email. So sometimes if somebody sends you a big, long email, you may want to print it out and read it later.
Now, my question is, let's say if I send email to the attorney, he gets it. But when he will reply, how will I read his reply?
So when you log on to your TrueLinks, it'll say you have 4 messages. You will click the message button. It'll show you when you first go to email someone, you have to get approved for their email address. And so you're going to have your approval list. You'll have to put in their name, their address, their email. They don't really care what address you put, but you have to put like John Smith and then John Smith's email. And then I will get, on my end, I will get a notice from it's called Core Links on the outside. So I don't know why they have 2 different third parties, but it's True Links on the inside. I will get a message from Core Links, correctional Core Links, and it will say that you have an invite from an inmate at a federal facility. Do I accept or decline? So if I hit accept, now I can get messages back and forth from you. They have an app on your phone for $6 a year. It's called Core Links. And so when you send a message out to somebody, it goes right to their phone and they get a beep and then they can send it right back for $6 a year. If you have anybody out there you want to email to, it's a pretty good deal for $6 a year. I believe when you do that, I've heard the emails can get there as fast as 30 minutes instead of waiting, 2 hours. And that 10 cents a minute can add up, but it doesn't go. They don't take that out of the money that you spend at the store every week. You're going to have a bank account. So that money also comes out of your bank account. I'll call it your federal bank account. They have items you can order from the there's hobby and crafts there. So if you're into arts and crafts, they have a special like a catalog you can order from that. They have a religious catalog you can order from that. And all this money comes from your bank account. They don't take away from what you can spend at the store every week.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
It does.
They have tablets now. See, that's new. And the guys at the halfway house that I see every week told me that the tablets are kind of expensive. If you're going to watch a movie, they have movies that you can download. It's $5 to watch a movie, and it only stays on there for 2 days. You can send emails from your tablet, and I believe there's video phones on your tablet as well.
Okay.
I know the women have that. I think the men do now too.
Okay, that's good.
You buy the tablet. I don't know if you buy the tablet or share it with that. I think you buy it, and somebody said it was $260 or something.
Okay.
And I guess that's a one-time fee they'll take out of your account. Some prisons don't have enough tablets yet, so they're letting the inmates have to kind of check it out at the library. But other prisons that have a lot of tablets that they ordered, everybody has their own. So I guess once they get enough of them distributed, everybody will have their own. It's something new.
Okay.
And so there's that. Books. Do you read?
Yeah, I mean, I'll try to read whatever I can.
The general rule in prisons is you have to have a book sent from an outside source like Amazon or.
No, I won't. Whatever is there, I can read.
Except in a camp, though, it's different. In a camp, somebody can send you a used book. So, like, if you have people, I always tell viewers, if you have a lot of books that you don't read and they just sit on your shelf, you can send them to an inmate at a camp. Only 5 at a time. You're allowed to get receive 5 books at a time, and even at camp you can even have hardcover books, unless the rules changed. That's how it was with me. But you can only keep 30 books in your locker. So if you have more than 30 books, I always tell people donate them to the prison library. Some people send them back home so they have them when they get home, or they give them away.
Okay.
I think books. Me, when I had extra books, I would just put them in the library or hand them out to people. I don't think it's fair for me to just keep a collection of books that I'll probably never read again. I'd like to share that to the world. What's that?
How's the prison library?
When I got to mine, it was pretty weak. We had 400 inmates. We had a pretty large camp. There wasn't much there. It was the size of an elementary school library, even small. Like four aisles of shelves. I'm gonna guess maybe they had 1,500 books. So that's why I always added to their collection. But they have a lending library where somebody's job, one of the jobs they have there is librarian, and you can order books from other prisons or libraries. It might take a week or two, but any book you want, they will fill out a form and they will find it for you and have it brought in through the national library system. So even though they don't have the book you want, you can request it. It doesn't cost any money.
Mm-hmm.
They do have I was going to say the TrueLink, the terminals also have a message system, and it's a bulletin board. It's usually messages from local news that's going on and what's going on in the federal prison system. And then they have music that you can order. So they have, when I was there, they had MP3 players. I think now it's on the tablet, and it's about $2 a song. And you can download that onto your MP3 player, or you can get a radio. I like the radio because they had AM and FM. I like to listen to talk shows when I was in prison. A lot of people do. They listen to these late night talk shows. And what was I gonna say? And there was one more thing. You can print. They have a printer in the library. Like I said, it's 15 cents a page. You can also make copies. I think more people are probably going to make copies of things than print their emails out. But they do have that available. They have a library, then they'll have a law library. The law library has typewriters. Do you remember those? Remember what a typewriter is?
No.
So you have to buy the ribbon, the black and the red ribbon and all the little cartridges. You have to supply that, and you have to supply your own paper because everybody has their own little cartridge. Goes in and out of the typewriter, so you have to buy that on commissary. But yeah, a lot of people are in their you can write a book. People write books. They get them published. They even have publishers on the outside that deal with prisons and are constantly publishing books and trying to sell them for inmates. And there are some people doing life sentences that are making a pretty good living as an author.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever wanted to write a book and you never had the time or the place, prison is the answer. I think that's probably the best place that you could write a book.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that would be the right atmosphere. Or go out in the middle of the desert, but you ever thought about writing a book?
Well, when I'll have more time, and no internet, I think I can focus on that.
Here's your opportunity. It's I know you already know this, but this is an opportunity. All those things your whole life, you said, if I ever had the time, if I ever get around to, well, here's your ifs. Now is your if you had the time. You know what I mean? And just try to think back in your life, all those times that you always wanted to get, one day I'm going to. Well, here's that one day I'm going to.
The Bible or the Quran, can you bring a religious book with you? Or
yes, you can. You can bring your own. You can bring the Torah, the Quran, the Bible. Again, valued under $100, and that's up to the staff to decide. But yes.
But if they don't accept it, what will they do? Because
they have to. They will. On the religious stuff, they will. Unless it's with a gold, has gold leaf. If it's a real fancy one, they will send. You'll have to send it back home. So just make sure it's under $100.
Okay.
But yeah, they won't deny anything. You can have anything you wanted to. any kind of religious jewelry or, like I said, prayer rugs. The prayer rugs are going to be more than $100, so that's why you have to go to there'll be a prison chaplain, and maybe 3 or 4 different backgrounds that they have. But you go through the chaplain will order the prayer rugs for you. Anything that's more than $100, they will have that ordered in, and it'll come to his office, and then they'll give it to you.
Okay.
But yeah, bring your Quran, because they cannot deny you that.
Okay.
As long as it's under $100, they will not deny you that. That's the one right that you have in prison, is that, like I said before, your religious rights. There are people that fought hard, I guess, in the prison system to keep that. That's the one right that you do not get taken away from you.
Okay.
Because now you won't be able to vote until you get out, and that depends on what state you go to. I don't know if you have firearms, but that's gone. We lose a lot of our rights. I feel if I've done my time and paid my debt to society and everything that the judicial system has, if I fulfilled all my obligations, I should have all my rights back. But it doesn't work that way.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Well, most Americans don't use their rights anyways. They just had an election here in New Mexico. Guess what the turnout was? 22%.
If you don't exercise your right, you are going to lose it.
22% turnout here, and felons can vote here. So I sure did. It was just a primary, but 22%. So that's 1 out of 5 people exercise their right to vote.
Can I subscribe to like daily newspaper, like the print?
Yes,
newspaper?
yes, you can. But you'll have. I would do that now, and have it sent. Yeah, there's people that get every single day they get a newspaper. The Wall Street Journal is at Otisville. I bet you almost everybody gets a copy of the Wall Street Journal, and they won't share that thing. Those guys hold on to that. Their stock markets, and they don't really share that. But do you read the Wall Street Journal?
I was thinking Wall Street Journal and New York Times, both.
Okay, and not the New England. What's the New England Medicine? What's that one called?
No, I'm not into. I was just into the newspaper. If I can get 2 newspapers a day, that will make my life.
You can get 10 newspapers a day if you want. They do a mail call every night. Let's say it's 6 o'clock. It's after dinner, so you'll have to show up to get your mail. But I had a hustle in a camp. They will let me pick up other people's mail. So I had a little service for $5 a month. I'll show up every night at 6 o'clock. If you have mail, I will put it on your bed. As soon as I went around delivering mail, I might have had 30 people times 5 a month. That wasn't bad. It's a little extra money. I was going to go get my mail anyways. So everybody has a hustle, or they have enough money where they don't have to hustle.
They don't have to hustle. Yeah.
I like delivering the mail because I get to know people. I get to say hi and go in all these different buildings.
And what job shall I get assigned? Just find a job right away?
Well, like I said, when you get there, they're going to assign you a job, but it'll take a couple of weeks because you're going to have to sit through an orientation process for all the new inmates. They usually do it once a month. And if you first get there, and let's say orientation's the next day, they're going to let you get settled in first. They'll make you catch the next month. During that time, you go around to the library, you go to the chapel, you go to the education department, you go to the automobile shop, you go to the warehouse, you go around and you see what kind of jobs they have. Recreation, like I said, you could do everything from teach a class to wash dishes. So you get a feel for what kind of job you want. They even have drivers. They have town drivers. It's usually somebody that's not from the same state, but I think you probably live too close. But they have people that will drive inmates when they get released to the bus stop or the airport. You are next to a medium, I believe. Did I lose him? Well, I guess I lost him. I'll wait till he comes back. But they're going to assign you a job, but you could find one first before they do, because they're going to give you like scraping trays and then dishwashing, or they're going to have you pulling weeds at the prison across the street. And I lost him. That's okay. He may come back, guys. We've been going a while. Let's see. I got a few people on here. So I don't know if there's any more questions. I'm gonna give him a minute to come back on. What time is it? Let's see here. Yeah, I've been going for an hour. Yeah, that's. If there's any other questions, I appreciate anybody that's watching this video. I'm going to be doing more videos now. The city of Albuquerque had told me I can't do any YouTube shows about prison or me being an inmate at the same time I was working for the city of Albuquerque. So I went back to Wings for Life, and I will be doing more videos now. There we go. Yeah, I lost you there. So I was saying about the job. Find your own job before they assign you one.
Okay.
You have you have the medium facility across the street. A lot of jobs are going to be doing landscaping over there. You're going to have to go maybe sweep and clean the at that prison. They're going to have a lobby. They're going to have a visitor section, and they're going to have the inmates from Otisville go over there and clean that up. They're going to be cleaning toilets and pulling weeds across the street, or you're going to be scraping the trays in the dining room or washing dishes. That's the job they're going to give you unless you find one first before you get assigned one. So you
Okay.
go around and every CO runs a different, a different department, and you ask, "Hey, are you hiring?" And they'll ask you, they'll interview you. You know, yeah, I'm hiring, but what's your credentials? What are you good at? So you may even get a job in medical. They always have jobs there too. I don't know with your background, they may not. There may be a conflict of interest, but I'm not sure of the policy on that. But there's all kinds of different jobs. Now, what is it? 90 inmates, give or take, that they have right now there in Otisville.
But I read online.
So I'm guessing, unless they're over 65 or have a medical issue, every one of those people are going to work. That's not a lot of inmates. A camp is usually set up next to a bigger prison because that's the free labor to do everything that they don't want those inmates to do with the camp, because they're not going to let the inmates go on the outside and pull weeds and do landscaping, because they're higher security. So they have the campers do that. And when the people at the medium facility on lockdown because they get in a fight, and they stab each other, and it's usually the stupidest fights. Somebody stole my candy bar, and I stabbed him, and everybody gets put on lockdown. You have to go over there and make bologna sandwiches, make their lunches. So they're going to give them bologna sandwiches for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for about a month. And the inmates from the camp do that. You're gonna have to wash their laundry. You're gonna have to empty their trash because they're all locked up, being punished. And the campers are constantly going over to the other prisons and being the free slave labor. So be prepared for that. A lot of guys try to get out of it. The doctors that I did time with always had a medical excuse and something they could write. They got out of it. So that might be your hustle. You sell medical excuses to get out of work. You lazy Americans, You told me you came here with $3,000, and you used that and became successful. You give an American now that doesn't have a job $3,000, he's going to go spend it. He's not going to invest it like you. I mean, I wish more people could have success stories. Like I'd go personally give somebody $3,000 if I knew they were going to do what you did with it. But somebody on the streets, would you give them $3,000 to invest in their life today? When you're frozen.
I think I believe in American dream and American potential, but hard times leads to good times, and too much good times leads to hard times. So I think we are in the third phase. We have too much good time now. We as a society, it might lead to.
Yeah. Nobody
The
goes
good,
hungry in this country.
the
There's
good
no
times
reason to
that
go hungry.
the good times that we see here, times that the Great Depression and good. That's why we see good times now.
Um, Hey, it's been about an hour. If you don't mind, I kind of wanted to wrap it up, but do you want to say some final words out there to anyone or any last questions? And if you want to come on again before you turn yourself in, that's fine. Call me anytime if you think of
Sure.
something. But let me give you 5 minutes here to, say what you need to say out there.
Here where we are, hindsight always 2020. Never look back. in terms of hindsight, what if this, what if that? It is what it is. Face it, go through the system. Thousands of other people have gone through the system. Actually, hundreds of thousands of people have gone through the system in a much more worse circumstances than what I am going through. And, this is a journey of life.
Okay, my friend. I don't know if you have my email, but I want to make sure I'll text it to you.
Sure.
Drop me a line. Call me on one of those 500 free minutes if you want. I could be your friend on the outside. You want me to look something up on Google because you don't have that, and whatever I could do for you. Just send me a line.
Okay.
Let me know how it's going there.
I'll keep you posted.
Okay.
Thank you, bro.
You're gonna do well, man. You got it right here. You already got it right here, man. So and I know you'll use that time well. So I don't
What
even
do
have
you
to wish
think?
you best. I know you're gonna get it.
Talking to me, what do you think are
Say it again because the internet froze. Say it one more time.
based on what I have? What do you think are my strengths and weaknesses to go through the system?
There are people in that prison, even in Otisville, that will take your kindness for weakness. So be careful. Choose your friends well. Now, you may say, I don't want to make any friends in prison. And a lot of people say that, but that's a very lonely street. You don't want to go through prison without making a friend or two. Because in that world, you can try to keep everybody away from you. I'm just doing my time. I don't talk to nobody. That's that's I think that's a very miserable place to be and a lonely place to be, and that's a stubborn and selfish place to be, because there are some good
Yeah.
people in there. You're there, so what makes if you are there, don't you think there's other people like you that are there? So, but choose your friends wisely, take your time, but have a few people that you can find with,
Yeah.
and be careful for the ones that want to like use that kindness for weakness. Okay, there are some predators in there.
Right.
But I also think you're very inspiring. And one of those jobs that you said you wanted to look for, they have classes at night that inmates can teach. Maybe you teach a philosophy class, or maybe whatever it is you want to come up with. It's called ACE classes, Adult Continuing Education. The inmates get that credit for that first. They get those. You got to have program hours every 30 days of programming. You get 15 days off. Well, those classes that inmates teach count. So maybe I suggest for your strength is you pick a topic that you want to teach because you have very inspiring words. So I don't know, philosophy or something that you got something to offer people. So it's here, and I don't know if that can be taught, but
Happen.
I don't know if that can be taught, but you can at least, you know what I mean. Maybe
At least
find the new
impart.
guys that come into prison and you help them. What's that?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, whatever I have to offer, I'll try my best.
You know how in India everybody honks the horn, right?
Yeah.
When they drive.
Yeah.
Do you honk the horn here in this country?
No, not really.
So my, my,
Very.
my advice is when you get to prison, don't honk the horn.
Uh, that's true.
Don't be in a hurry. When you get to
Yeah.
prison, don't be in a hurry. Okay, don't
No.
rush. Where you going?
Yeah.
Where you going? You're not going. You're not leaving today. Why are you in a hurry?
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
So do you still honk the horn like in
No.
in India? Did you?
No.
Okay. You
All right.
know
So I'll
what I'm
try to
talking about, right?
before I surrender.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, man. I wish you the best, and please, give me a call before you go in
Sure.
and drop me a
I,
line, man.
I will touch base with you before I surrender. Thank you. Thank you, my friend.
You bet.
Okay.
Check these comments later on this video. Somebody might ask you questions or something,
Okay.
or want to reach out to you. Okay.
Just send me the link of those comments. Just send me
Yeah,
the link
I'll do that. Okay, I will do that.
on on the YouTube. Okay.
All right. God,
Because when you upload it on the YouTube, just send it to me. You got it.
you bet. As soon as I hit the end button, it already will be a rerun forever. YouTube owns it
Forever.
now.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. I send you the link. All right.
Okay.
Good
Bye-bye.
day, my friend.